We haven't even done scholarships yet, because we're not doing a banquet. So.
Yes, but the scholarships are coming out next month.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay, February the 7th is the release date.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but like a 12 o'clock virtual presentation for the governor's office, that's at 12 noon.
Brothers for to be a community and a leader in this community. Now, I would like to congratulate all the participants for contributing to the Living the Dream MLK contest. This program is a great opportunity for the youth to experience new things, recognize important parts of Black history and other current events, and showcase their writing and artistic abilities. I have been one of the lucky winners of the poetry contest on many occasions, and I am very proud to see other students just like me doing what they enjoy and working hard to have their voice be heard, whether it's through a poem, essay, or art piece. At this time, Ms. Joan Wilson will announce the winners of the art competition.
Good morning. I'd like to first thank the 49 participants who entered the art competition for Living the Dream. And so I'm pleased also to announce the names of the winners in the first and second grade categories. And our first place winner would be Carson Crenshaw or Crawshaw. And he would be from Ross Elementary School. His teacher's name is Mrs. Lorgy. And the name of his art is called The Speech. In the third and fourth grade category, in third place would be Anaya Stewart from Quincy Elementary School, and Mrs. Diaz would be her teacher. The name of her art would be Martin Luther King is Cool. In second place would be Isabella Juarez Milton, and she's from Quincy Elementary School. Mrs. Diaz, again, is her teacher, and she has a drawing. The first place winner was Emily Crawshaw, and she's from Ross Elementary School, and the name of her art is Rosa's Quote. In the fifth and sixth grade category, in third place would be Angelique Cushenberry. She's from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens is her teacher, and the name of her art is We All Deserve Human Rights. In second place would be Mary Jane Daniels Hurd. She's from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens, again, is her teacher. The name of her art is Human Race. In first place, Sandra Selena, and she's from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens is her teacher. And the name of her art is We Are All the Same. In the seventh and eighth grade category, in third place, and this was interesting because we had several ties in this in the seventh and eighth grade level. So in the third place would be Janice Hoxson Bell from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens is her teacher, and she has a drawing. Third place tie would be third place tie would be Richard Miller, and he's from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens is the teacher, and the name of his art is called Peace. In the second place, we have Raylyn Devers from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens is the teacher, and the name of her art is Woman of Power. In first place, we have Charity Battles from Chase Middle School. Mrs. Havens is a teacher, and she has a drawing, and the theme is justice. In the 9th and 10th grade category, we have Aveline Bowling in third place from Care Pravel Latin School. Bridget Cornwell is a teacher, and the name of her art is Human Rights Trailblazers. In the second place, we have Gloria Allende. She's from Highland Park High School. The name of her teacher is Tiffany Pryor, and her piece is called A Historical Movement. In first place, we have Clara Boyd from Care Pavel. Mrs. Bridget Cornwell is a teacher, and the name of her art is Crying Colors. In the 11th and 12th grade category, in third place, we have Caden Haddock, and he's from Shawnee Heights High School. Mrs. Avery Berry is the teacher, and the name of his art is Human. In second place, we have Maritza Pulgrin Aradano, and she is from Hope Street Academy. The name of her teacher is Mackenzie Miles, and her piece is called Hope Carries On. In the first place, we have Deshauna Wiley from Topeka High School. Mrs. Josh Davis is her teacher, and the name of her art is In My Own Element. So I'd like to thank you all, students, for participating and keep creating art. Art is a documentation of a community, of a society's history. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Be sure to congratulate any of the students that have been mentioned. Now, Ms. Deborah Dawkins will announce the winners of the essay competition. Thank you, Ms. Dawkins.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to announce the winners of the essay competition. The theme that they were writing on was "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope." Starting with our 5th and 6th graders. In third place, we had Brody Murphy, whose essay was entitled Martin Luther King Jr. Brody is a student at J. Scheidler Elementary, and Brody's teacher is Mrs. Howard. In second place, we have Nikita He. The title of Nikita's essay is Racism, Sexism. Nikita attends Farley Elementary. Teachers, Mrs. Wilson and Mrs. Howard. In first place, Zoe Allegria. The title of the essay, He Stayed Positive, Never Lose Infinite Hope. Zoe attends French Middle School, and Zoe's teacher is Mrs. Smith. In the 7th and 8th grade category, in third place, Audrey Apun. Audrey's essay is entitled, Have You Heard of This Person? Audrey attends Washburn Rural Middle School, and Audrey's teachers are Mrs. Bertles and Mrs. Dow. In second place, Jaden Lindsay, whose essay is entitled Peace. Jaden attends French Middle School, and Jaden's teacher is Mr. Ritter. In first place, Lonnie Lopez. The title of the essay is untitled, and Lonnie attends French Middle School, and Lonnie's teacher is Mr. Ritter as well. In the 9th and 10th grade category, in third place, London Richardson, whose essay is entitled Queen of Hearts. London attends Seaman High School, and London's teacher is Mr. Collins. In second place, Danica Zimpowski, The Flight of Equality in Topeka. Danica attends Seaman High School, and Danica's teacher is Mr. Wings. In first place, Cheyenne Turkin. Title of the essay, Malala Yousaf. Cheyenne attends Seaman High School. Cheyenne's teacher is Mr. Collins. In our 11th and 12th grade category, in second place, Nigerie Kennedy, Hope Will Always Triumph Disappointment, from Topeka High School, and the teacher is Mr. Colazzo. And our first place winner is Chase Ford. Chase attends Topeka West High School, and Chase's teacher is Miss Crawford. The title of Chase's essay is "We Must Accept Finite Disappointment, but Never Lose Hope." At this time, we will hear from Chase reading the essay.
Hyman.
But never lose infinite hope. Throughout America's history, African American individuals have faced many adverse challenges, such as those who lived during the antebellum period, those who faced segregation, and those who have had less opportunities. It was up to the brave individuals willing to speak up for what was right, sometimes knowing the backlash they would face when advocating for those whose voice was unheard. Although African Americans still face many obstacles today, our country wouldn't be the same without Martin Luther King Jr., Congressman John Lewis, and President Barack Obama. Martin Luther King Jr., who lived through racism, was a primary example of a leader who stepped up when change was dire for America. Rather than using the force of violence, he approached changing America in a more gentle and respectful way. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving, King said. King's message was to do anything and everything possible to advocate for equality. His motivating words encouraged individuals to never stop fighting for what is right and just. John Lewis, a United States congressman, advocated for equity and the involvement needed to better society. Do not get lost in the sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or year. It is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble, John Lewis said. Lewis's message encourages Americans to put up a fight when necessary and get into good trouble. He wants Americans to speak up for the inequality African Americans face in their lifetime. He hopes that individuals can become unified together and fight for the injustice. Lewis wants us to keep our heads up and stay optimistic when finite disappointment is faced. Our first African American president, Barack Obama, realized the importance of the groundwork placed by African Americans that came before him. America is a constant work in progress. What gives each new generation purpose is to take up the unfinished work of the last and carry it further, to speak out for what's right, to challenge an unjust status quo, and to imagine a better world, President Barack Obama said. The theme, We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope, significantly correlates with Obama's words. Although African Americans face many hardships to this day, Obama encourages all people of every race and generation to complete the unfinished work. Obama's words encourage society to speak up for what is right and imagine a better world while doing so. In a final observation, the inequality African Americans face has been and is still an issue that is prevalent today. Throughout the years, racism roots starting at the beginning of time. This includes slavery, lack of voting opportunities, and many inequalities. In American history, Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, and Barack Obama were some of the ones who laid groundwork for equality towards African Americans. It is up to us to continue fighting for what is right and what is just. If we have came this far, this is not the place to stop. If America can acknowledge the diversity, acknowledge our history, and be content to work with each other, we can come together to create a better place for all races to have equal opportunities.
You're now going to hear from one of the art winners, Gloria Mendez.
Hi, my name is Gloria Mendez. I am a sophomore at Highland Park High School. I am 15 years old and my drawing is called The Historical Movement. At first, I only created the art for the competition, but I've always enjoyed learning about Black history and getting to the bottom of things, since most of it didn't click with me and getting to know the real history, since most of it has been whitewashed and sugar-coated. How I believe this connects to the legacy of Dr. King is because they all connected to being able to look up to him and others in my drawing, like Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, and Barack Obama. They are part of people who make you optimistic. And right now I do not have the drawing because I gave it to a teacher and it's not somewhere that is close to me right now. So here is a printed copy of my drawing.
Great.
And we need to continue the legacy of being there together and helping each other out. The important thing that all of us can do to continue the dream is accept people that are different from us, because we are all still a living human that still has feelings. And a little detail about a piece of my art is the angel that is falling with a box on its head and its fingers turn like smoke. The smoke is an example of how African Americans rise to a different way, and the box says, confidential, do not let them know. That meaning is how badly they were treated, and the government and other higher officials want that part of history hidden, and how unfair it was for them, and how lethal it was for them to go outside. And as I said before, my name is Gloria Mendez. My teacher is Tiffany Pryor. I made a second place in the 9th and 10th grade category using a pencil as my medium. Thank you. Hi, my name is Gloria Mendez. I am a sophomore.
Thank you. Now Mrs. Cindy White will announce the winners of the poetry contest.
First, I would like to say happy 93rd heavenly birthday to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Indeed, it's a pleasure and honor for me to stand before you to announce the winners of our 2022 Martin Luther King poetry competition. We had 41 poetry entries, and I'm proud to say that we had 12 winners. We had a winner in every category. And so I think that's a blessing in times like these with the COVID-19 to have so many students who would like to share their perspective on Dr. King, how he impacted their lives. We're going to start with the 5th and 6th grade category. The 3rd place winner is Jasper Ungerer. He is a student at the Indian Hills Elementary School. The title of his poem is I Believe. His teacher is Mrs. Howard. The second place winner is Ethan Davis,
I can't get any sound.
and the title of the poem is Reminisce. His teacher, Mrs. Smith. And the first place winner is
I'm
David.
reading, but I don't know how to get any sound. And
He's a
there
student
was somebody talking, but I don't know.
is a C. And the teacher's name is Mr.
These are all the people that are
Bob.
on the, see, there's Lisa's
We're gonna move
name.
on to the 7th and 8th grade category. The third place winner is Campbell Pike from Washburn Rural Middle School. The title of the poem is Hope for Unity. The teacher is Bertles and Mr. Howe.
And see, there's no,
The
there we are.
second place winner also comes from Washburn. Rebecca Reed is the second place winner. The title of her poem is Waves of Change, and Mrs. Bertles and Mrs. Dow is the teacher as well. And the first place winner is Maddie Bauer, who is a student at Washburn Rural Middle School too. And the title of the poem is called Colorblind, and Mrs. Bertles and Mrs. Dow is the teacher as well. We're going to move on to our 9th and 10th grade category. The third place winner is Reese Munford from Seaman High School. The title of the poem is called The Struggle for Equality, and Mr. Weems is the teacher. The second place winner is Riley Jade Saltz from Topeka High School. The name of the poem is called My Will, and Miss Winkleman is the instructor. The first place winner is Jaden Norman, and he's a student at Topeka High School as well. The name of the poem is entitled Black Lives Matter.
No, because that will mute me.
Mute my audio.
Is the teacher for Jaden.
So it should have a line against it, through it.
Category. The third place winner is Skylar Sutton from Topeka High School. The name of the poem is called Rainbow, and Mr. Trulson is the teacher. The second place winner is Christopher Comahade from Topeka High School. The name of the poem is called Roads Paved. Mr. Trulson is also the teacher there as well. And the first place winner is Lillian Thornton from Topeka High School. The title of the poem is called Surviving the Winter, and Ms. Schaefer is the instructor. I would like to give a special shout out to Mrs. Bertles and Mrs. Dow and Mr. Trulson. These teachers really inspired at Topeka High School. We saw at least 9 poetry entries, and then we saw 10 from the Washburn Rural Middle School. And so I'd like to thank those teachers for encouraging and supporting the students to become involved in our 2022 poetry competition. I also would like to let the students know in the next few days, you'll be receiving your gift cards and your gift certificates. And so we do have for the first place a $30 gift card. We also have for second place a $25 gift card. And then for the third place winner, we will have a $20 gift card. So thank you all for your support and keep living Dr. King's dream. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jade Norman. I'm a freshman at Topeka High School, and I'll be reading my poem called Remembering December. Starting a war, skirting peace at the same time. All the corruption and injustice, the same crimes. Always a problem if we do or don't fight, and then we die. We don't have the same rights. What's a gun going to do to someone who surrenders? Praying for change because the pain makes you tender. All the names you refuse to remember, happening ever since December. Chanting, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Getting pulled over for no reason, just because our skin, we are getting beaten. We breathe the same, we bleed the same, but we don't see the same. Some people think it's a game. Fighting for his life, we will forever know his name. What's a gun going to do for someone who surrenders? Praying for change because the pain makes you tender. All the names you refuse to remember, happening ever since December. Chanting, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. How many others have to cry? How many brothers got to die? Why so many tears falling from our eyes? How do we come and get along with each other? Where's the hope and empathy? Why do we judge off the color? What's a gun going to do to someone who surrenders? Praying for change because the pain makes you tender. All the names you refuse to remember, happening ever since December. Chanting, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. It can't change overnight, but we gotta start somewhere, so you might as well start here. Death is the only thing I fear.
Wait a minute.
What more can I do? We can look around our communities for opportunities to provide service. We can look inside of ourselves and ask questions about our own thoughts, opinions, and actions. We can look at others as humans who are our blood brothers and sisters and who are more alike than different from us. We can look forward toward creating a better world for all of us to live in by being kind, considerate, compassionate, loving, and fair. If we do all of these and any other positive acts that we know we can and should do, Kansas, America, and the world will be closer to the vision, not just the dream, that Dr. King had, free at last. This is the time. We can do it if we are willing to do what we can do.
We can truly make a difference when we take Dr. King's lead and choose to stand together in solidarity, mutual respect, and commitment to making the world a better place. As your governor, I am committed to working with all of you to bring us together in solidarity and mutual respect, and to promote diversity and inclusion.
Thank you. Now we will have Ms. Dawkins again for closing remarks.
For the past 37 years, the Living the Dream Committee has put on one of the longest Martin Luther King celebrations in the nation. COVID-19 has altered the way that we do that celebration, but I'd like to acknowledge today that in spite of the pandemic, there were some of the activities that normally take place this week that still went on. The USD 501, in partnership with Living the Dream, Inc., will be collecting non-perishable food items through February 1st in honor of Dr. King. And donations of the items will be placed in all of the Topeka Public School buildings. Last week, we had both our Respect for Elders Week, in which there were baskets that were delivered to several of the senior living and activity centers across the city. Those were delivered by students from Topeka High School, and that was done by a contribution from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And also last week, the Living the Dream business partners delivered 20 preschool packets to preschools in the 501 school district and also private preschools. Rather than have readers actually go into the schools this year, we recorded a YouTube video reading the book, I Am Brave, and we delivered those books with coloring sheets to the schools so that they can still have in their library an additional resource to teach our preschoolers about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. And on Thursday, the governor celebrated with a march and a proclamation signing. Today, after this presentation, there will be another governor's celebration program that will take place at noon. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Anthony Lewis, who is the superintendent of the Lawrence School District and a member of both the Kansas African American Affairs Commission and the Governor's Commission on Racial Equality and Justice. Governor Kelly will provide remarks, and commissioners will highlight the work of several organizations around Kansas who are continuing to promote Dr. King's legacy of giving back to the community. The event will be streamed live on Kansas African American Affairs Commission's Facebook page. So you can access that at noon today via Facebook. And then this evening, the Center for Peace and Justice, in partnership with Living the Dream, Inc., and the Martin Luther King Jr. National Park Service in Atlanta, and the Brown versus Board National Historic Site, will be sponsoring its 29th annual Martin Luther King community-wide birthday celebration. The virtual program starts at 7 p.m. Please go to www.gvhot97fm.com to watch the celebration. Several local and Atlanta speakers and soloists will make presentations. Mr. Alvin Brooks, a civil rights and political activist from Kansas City, Missouri, is the special guest speaker. And today, while we're in this program, Harvesters is hosting a day of service, creating and sorting, repacking food for children and families and seniors in need of food assistance. And continuing on this work this week, there are also more volunteer opportunities available on Tuesday, on Thursday, and on Saturday. If you would like to help, you can contact Harvesters directly at www.harvesters.org, how to help volunteers. Or you can call 785-861-7750. Attention graduating seniors. Our scholarship applications will be available starting February 7th at LTD Topeka.com. Our awards banquet that would normally have been held this weekend has been moved to May 7th at the Ramada Inn. Please take note and watch for further advertisement about the awards banquet. At this time, I would like to acknowledge all the parents and students and educators and principals for supporting and promoting our 2022 Dr. Martin Luther King Student Art, Essay, and Poetry competitions. Your encouragement and participation is greatly appreciated. We have a special thank you to Mr. John Lewis, who has provided us our technology today, Ms. Rebecca Morrissey, the principal of Topeka High, the Kansas Volunteer Commissioner, and Bowser Johnson Funeral Chapel that is hosting our live presentation today. At this time, we will acknowledge those individuals with special gifts. And while they are coming, I would just like to say that I love being a part of the presentation that involves our young people. These past 2 years have been extremely difficult, and not only with the virus, but with the racial tension, and it sometimes makes it seem that we are going backwards instead of forward. But based on the theme that we have this year, we must accept finite disappointment. And all of us have experienced disappointment in our lives, and especially in the past 2 years. But it gives me hope when I see these young people who have grasped the vision of Dr. King and are carrying it forward to the next generation. That is our hope, the next generation. At this time, we will acknowledge our
Thank you, Ms. Dawkins, for that very powerful and encouraging message, because it's all about hope. And as we struggle through the pandemic, and we had some kids who I know had some difficulties and some changes, and so we wanted to recognize our young people. It's all about the young generation carrying on the torch of Dr. King's dream. At this time, we would like to present to our MC, Akina. I really appreciate her rising early on a non-school day on Dr. King's holiday. And so it's a beautiful display to see her and to know her mom and her grandmother. And so it's really, I think, an honor for me to present her with a nice token of love and appreciation for her serving as our MC for this year. Thank you. Next, we have a woman who's very dear and near to my heart, and she's been my confidant, she's been my encourager, and she's been my mentor for many years. Mrs. Harriet Johnson is the vice chairperson of the Living the Dream Board of Directors, and she has served in that capacity for well over 10 years. And she has been a listening ear. She's been a person who has always came to be our guardian angel. She's been a lifesaver for many of us. And so we just praise and thank God for her allowing us to use her chapel. When doors were closed, on us, we took a step of faith. It's like Dr. King said, you have to sometimes step out on faith. If you want to see the whole staircase, you got to be able to see the road ahead of you. And so Harriet today provided that door for us. When many doors were closed, she was very gracious to open up her funeral chapel to be able to do a live broadcast. And so we have a special presentation for Harriet. She has a birthday coming up.
I do.
She has a birthday coming up. We won't say the date.
Or the age.
Or the age.
We can say the date.
But we would like to acknowledge her today for her graciousness, her support,
Thank you.
her charitable giving. She does a lot to support our scholarships and to support our youth, and she's a retired educator. And so we just take this time to give Harriet this gift of our love and appreciation for all that she do to help promote and to, I think, encourage our young people to keep achieving and keep dreaming, to be able to hit the grades and to go to college.
Yes.
Because without knowledge, you don't have power within your own lives and within your own school districts. And so we're going to have Harriet to speak at this time to give a few comments about the Living the Dream program that she's been involved in.
I won't give you comments about the programs, but we have, for the last 37 years, we have been there for this community. So we want to keep supporting our community, and we want you to keep supporting us. Thank you so much.
It really gives me an honor to present this young gentleman. He's been truly a blessing for me, because when I couldn't see sometimes what God had allowed me to try to envision for this year, to have our programs, because sometimes you hear, in this COVID, let's just cancel everything. But I thought, no, we have such wonderful youth in our school districts, and we have educators who are promoting and encouraging the kids. And so we thought this year we're going to do our first virtual presentation to be able to honor and to recognize our young people. And so Mr. John Lewis stepped up to the plate, and he too graciously accepted being our IT technology guru for today. And so we want to present Mr. Lewis, who is a retired educator, but he has such a love and passion for the kids, he came back to Capital City High School twice. And so we just thank God for him, because he's truly a blessing in my life, and would like to present him with something to be able to encourage, he says, his grandkids. And so being a grandmother, I would like to encourage him to keep encouraging his grandchildren to aspire to make a difference in this world, and to help uplift and to promote Dr. King's dream of walking in unity and diversity. Would you like to have some words to say, Mr. Lewis?
No, thank you.
This concludes our program. We encourage all of you to please engage in something that's positive. Dr. King, he stood for 3 principles: nonviolence, helping those who are marginalized, and then also he took a stance for social injustice. And he also took a stance for helping those who couldn't help themselves.
Amen.
So try to make a difference today. Today is a day of service. And so we ask that you do something that's kind to others, something that helps others better than yourselves. God bless you all, and keep living the dream. Thank you.
Is it off, John?
We are done.